And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, Dashing Rogue, with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
Who the hell is Monkey D. Luffy? Here? You seem to be confused about the rules of the house, but Baratier doesn't offer credit. You eat, you pay.
I think you're confused. The meal has already been paid for. I just haven't given you the money yet.
What is that? That sounds way more base than that. That sounds like fucking, Monkey D. Luffy coming into frickin', what is it, frickin' Westeros or Game of Thrones. Way too fucking cool for it to actually be something legit.
It's fun.
Jeez.
The series is so much fun. Like they have to streamline it for content, but it's really fun to watch. I mean, the first 8 episodes are the first 50 episodes of the anime, so they had to cut a lot for content.
Oh, jeez. First 50. Well, I mean, like, is it Dragon Ball Z levels of, like, filler, or what are we talking
Well, I mean,
here?
One Piece is just long and slow like most animes, so they just compressed it. They just got the best parts of it and put it into one season.
Shit. That's I don't know. I don't know. I gotta start. I'm realizing I don't have much in terms of how should you say it, as not culture, but like I need to start doing more things with my life. I finally got my my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to take care of certain things. Now I have to have hobbies. I wanted to do fencing with you today, but I didn't get a chance to do that. I wanted to work on my car today. I did basically bare minimum, and I tried to apply window tint and just fucking way too hard. I botched. I botched it.
Well, that's okay. I didn't fence today, but I will next week, so I'll bring you along.
Alrighty. For those of you who want to know what that song was, that was Empire of Steel. It was the Masked remix, and that was by. Let me see if I can pull up the guys. I think it's Esquire, I believe. Give me 1 second. Who that person was? That song. Yeah. Essinger, yeah. Very good song. I highly recommend it. It was given to me by Wolf and Prepper. He actually showed me that song, that artist or that band. Well, it's like sad, sort of like retro wave, but it's really, really like depressing, I guess. I don't know. It's not lo-fi, but again, I love music. The reason I play music specifically on this show is to introduce people to new music that I like or that you might find a little cringe or whatever. It's all good. Anyhow, Luke, besides, well, you know about the whole Israel conflict, right? Like, apparently, it's not just Ukraine we're going up against. We're not just fighting the Ukrainians.
Ooh, two wars under Biden's belt. Congratulations.
Oh, dude, let's go for number 3, because I'll tell you this: the Chinese.
The third one now?
I don't know, dude. I think the Chinese are going to try to move in, and we're going to have like a 2-front war.
Oh boy! Especially
since shit like this happened, Luke. There you go.
And
there's a picture of
what happened. Oh,
there you go. Hassani decided the little stoner assassin decided to just go full on mask off.
Hold on a second. Let me get this.
There he is.
Let me see if I can play this just right.
You fucking Modern Warfare 2 villain. You son of a bitch.
Help! Hassan, shot!
Oh, oh, you people are violent fucking people. You're so violent. It looks like they have that trademark Palestinian plastique, don't they? Fucking trademark explosive personality. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But honestly, but is anyone surprised by but not just the reaction, but the reaction? I find the idea that anyone found like Black Lives Matter supporting Hamas kind of strange. Like, you do know they're all the same thing, right? You know they would support Hamas, right?
Yeah, well, even then, like, the shit that they're saying is some of the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, people are now saying, like, here's Tim Pool, for example. Let me see if I can pull it up here, Luke, and because like I don't watch Tim Pool, so people who share this with me, like, they only share shit that like Tim Pool says, because like he says so much shit that I'll just say it right now. If you're subscribed to Tim Pool, consider unsubscribing for a week or so and see if your life gets better. My life, my fucking mental health has been far more better watching the mainstream media or not watching Tim Pool. Because I'll tell you this, Tim Pool is quite literally like he used to be the chill guy that you could watch like to lo-fi. We talk about music here, but the lo-fi fucking hip hop, whatever the hell it is. But now he's like World War III, Civil War, the elite, the Democratic elite. Like, it just shut up. I need to just rest. Okay, you're gonna make my heart jump out. Here we go, Luke, play it.
Oh, I wish I could find my Civil War meme.
The Civil War. It's not just a meme; it's the reality.
Oh, here. Let's see if I can play this here.
And now,
Hey, Rocky,
Play it right
watch me
here.
pull a
Civil War.
out of my hat.
but that trick never worked.
This
Is
time
there
for sure.
audio playing?
Resto!
No audio playing.
I'll
He's
fix
gonna
that.
pull it out. Oh my god!
I'll fix that.
Pulled. Beautiful. Fucking Bullwinkle truly is the most patriotic of the General Mills.
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a
Civil War.
out of my hat.
but that trick never worked.
This time for sure. Resto!
Oh god.
Well, I'm getting close.
You're getting very close. Getting very close.
Of course, that's dated.
Alrighty, so here we go. We got Tim Cool. If you want to fucking show it. Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
hate
what
Tim.
are we watching here?
This is. By the way, I love that transition from of
Israel
Tim Pool.
versus
We're gonna-
Gaza or what?
We're gonna watch the Democrats are shocked that BLM supports the frickin' the hummus people. And by the way, it is hummus.
From Black
It's
Lives
not
Matter
Hamas.
Chicago that is going viral, since been deleted. It's an image of a paraglider with a Palestinian flag, and they tweeted, "That is all, that is it." The image says, "I stand with Palestine." Understanding the context is actually quite simple. Community Notes on Twitter gives us the information saying October 7th, 2023, Hamas terrorists attacked a music festival full of civilians without warning. They killed at least
Bastards fucking
260
tried to blow up Ultra. They tried to blow up Ultra Music Festival. The fucking fiends.
It's already been a week since then.
Yeah, it has been a week since then. And you know, again, I'd rather just not jump into this crap because this stuff is like very, very heavy. I mean, there are a lot of people on both sides. I mean, you know, from what I understand, I've seen like women get raped. I've seen arguments of babies being beheaded. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, this is one of those things where you have to sort of like let them fight it out and then come back in a week and see who's still standing. It's kind of fucked up, but that's kind of what it is at right now. Keep going.
Kidnapped an unknown number. They are not known for paragliding in other circumstances, so this post implies support of their activities. That's right, my friends. BLM Chicago's Twitter account, I don't know how many, let's see how many, are they very big? 60,000 followers. Overtly supporting the attack on civilians. And it's a wake-up call.
But
A lot of
Israel's an
people-
apartheid state, isn't it? That's what the leftists will say. And well, actually, you know, is it from the left or is it from the fucking, you know, National Socialists? You got to ask yourself that question, right, Luke? Are the people going to say Israel has right to defend itself? Because it does, right? I am pro-Israel in this fight. I am. So much so that, you know, when Hassan Piker, our good friend, our everyone's favorite scholastic terrorist, Hassan, he decides to fucking show up and, well, on Ethan Klein's channel. Here you go, Luke. At
Oh,
about
is that him?
yeah, Ethan Klein has gone downhill, dude.
What is this?
He's gone H3, right?
Which should I start at?
We'll start at 1 minute and 1 hour and 54 minutes in.
1 hour and 54.
No, 1 hour and 50 minutes. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Here we
blew
go.
up in the air as he was shot, and others around them celebrating.
That's fucking. I mean, yeah, that's
So
demonic.
when you see that,
Oh,
when you
God, he's
experience
gonna
that,
catch
What happened to his
Ketchup.
hair?
I guess leftism, maybe?
and
Leftism
then
probably
the
got it.
American dogs in American media refuse to reckon with.
You put those
American
fingers in the air,
dogs?
buddy.
You're an American,
Oh,
you jerk.
No, he's not. He's a fucking foreigner.
Oh.
March him to the ocean.
Oh,
March him to
really?
the
So just
ocean.
like that's like saying he's an immigrant.
Yeah, just like Chunk Yu-Gi-Oh, he also looks like the water buffalo. He has a little bit of the water buffalo in him. You can
Why
see
is
it in his eyes.
Oh, I can see his eyes. But why are you even here if you're gonna diss America, you jerk?
Honey, it's all about the
violence, and
Benjamins.
instead turn around and have former Israeli officials say these are these are Hamas-backed operatives, like the fucking 2-year-old or 4-year-old, the pregnant mother that was shot. These are Hamas operatives that deserve to be fucking killed for peacefully demonstrating. What do you do? What can you do? No one hears you and you're constantly backed into a corner, you are going to retaliate. That is, of course, going to happen.
And Israel needs to understand that. The Israelis,
I think some Israelis do.
They need to understand that. And that's,
Okay.
you know, it's
So
like,
then-
it's that mutual empathy. Like, Israelis need to
He
understand
needs
why
to
Hamas
understand
is
it.
attacking
You need to take your stand. You need to take your stand, and you need to start believing in yourself. And you still need to understand that there's a limit to what it's doing. Like that's what I'm getting. But then he starts playing this crocodile tear shit coming up here. Watch this, Luke. Just
They
keep
can
going
understand
forward a
that,
bit.
and there's no...
Right here, or who?
About 1 minute, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Try that one. There he
Murder.
starts crying.
And she was on her way to one of these refugee camps. She had a press vest on. She had a press helmet on. She was shot in the neck so that she could be assassinated. Okay?
So that she could be assassinated.
This was a major issue. They wanted to do... Sorry.
Part of the water buffaloes
like,
coming
as if
out.
you care. As if Hassan Piker
He
cares
doesn't-
about any of these people.
He doesn't give a shit. He won't even face Samuel Heidenbaum. Okay, he won't fight Samuel Heidenbaum, but he'll talk about going to fight the Israelis, the people who will literally ice this little fucking ape man. If he even tries anything, he won't, because he's a pussy. He's a fucking pussy. He doesn't go anything. But you can see this crocodile tears. Watch this. Keep going.
This is really fucked up.
You work those water buffalo eye, you water vampire. Go join the Fremen, Muad'Dim.
They went to her funeral and beat the shit out of people and ripped the Palestinian flag off of her.
Did that actually happen?
It's like another Shoah, Luke. It's like another Shoah.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Shut down, shut down.
Shut it down, shut it down. Oh boy, Wolfman Pepper, welcome. Israel has been attacking civilians, including evacuation trucks, right after telling them to evacuate. They aren't exactly earning any goodwill. They're not, exactly. They're not. But at the same fucking time, like, they have, like, the only thing that's, like, I made a off comment at one point earlier this week. I said the conflict between Israel and Hamas is like that between Seattle Police Department and the people who are trying to set up the autonomous zone. It's in the very same vein. You can, except the difference here is they actually, some of these these Palestinians are actually like terrorists, but also members of the government. So like they get to straddle the line between being an outlaw and being a fucking being an actual diplomatic representative. Like these are the type of people who will play, you know, the diplomatic immunity card. Like, you know, like the whole Lethal Weapon 2 shit. Oh, diplomatic immunity. They'll do that. They will easily play. They will wear press vests. They will abuse Red Cross privileges. That's what is going on, because these people are acting like Antifa, like a fucking gang, like they're the fucking how should you say it, the Viet Cong. Okay, they don't have there's no one to answer to. It's not like they have an actual a government they will hold them account and say, hey, you know, we don't permit killing on either side of things in this conflict. We don't think it's right to kill Israelis or Palestinians. So like there's favoritism on both sides here, right? Keep playing it. Do you think he's
have a moment of peace in this fucking world? They can't even mourn the dead.
Oh jeez.
Do you really think this like look at him?
This is.
Do you really think he's crying? He's not crying. He's crocodile tearing. Like I saw this for the first time. I'm like, dude, you're fucking crocodile tearing. Get the fuck out of here. He's like the little monkey from fucking Tarzan.
Or he's from Turkey? So is he related to the Palestinians or what?
Oh, he's just being a fucking. He thinks because he's of the same skin tone as the Palestinians, therefore he's the same. Because again, we have to remember, Israel is a white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy, apartheid state.
He's
right?
He's a very light-skinned Palestinian.
Leave him in the sun for a while. He'll figure. He'll turn a golden crisp like me. Anyhow, keep going.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The IDF went in and beat the shit out of the Palestinians that were mourning her at her funeral, that were holding her casket, and ripped the Palestinian flag off of her casket. How is that allowed? How?
He's doing the.
Was that even real?
He's channeling
Is there any-
Mussolini. He's channeling Mussolini.
Is there any video of this or photographs of this? Or is there any reporting of this?
You know, he doesn't say this is happening 3 years ago, 4 years ago. None of that. We're just supposed to accept it, you know?
Right.
I'm sure. Keep going.
How can that continue? How do you not see that? That's in the West Bank. This is a Christian woman. This is not a Muslim. This is not Hamas. This is a journalist. That was
How do you know? How do we know they were Christian?
in the Muslim world.
Just because you fucking wear a goddamn Christian cross.
Speaking out and trying to shine a light on the atrocities.
Okay, so this is it. Attack on thousands gathered occupied East Jerusalem for Al Jazeera journalist.
It's hard to look. It's very hard to hold my composure on this. This is something I've talked about for years and years. But when that kind of ruthlessness, I sound like fucking Jordan Peterson when he talks about men.
Yeah, we all know you're full of shit. We all know you're full of shit, you little fuck. We already know you're a liar. We know that you're full of shit. I mean, the Palestinians have, like, there's some really weird shit, like, these guys are doing. Like, I don't know if I can show this. Let me see if I can find it here. Let's see if I can find it. I think I sent it to you before. Okay. Okay, here we go. Luke, you might have to, you're gonna have to mute this one. Mute this one because this is what happens when you play way too much Battlefield 4, Fuzzy Naval Strike.
So mute this.
Mute this, and, you know, if you can, speed it up. Look at this.
So muted, speed up.
All right. So basically, what happened was they're in the, I guess the sea or whatever, the Aegean Sea, and apparently they blew up one of their enemy's rafts, right? So now the Israelis are just doing, like, they're driving by. They're literally doing drive-bys as people are in the water and they can't shoot back. They're literally doing drive-bys. So, like, the enemy is in the water, their vessel has been destroyed, and now they're just fucking killing them and shooting at them from the water, from an elevated position. It's these guys are brutal. Motherfuckers. The hummus fighters, yeah. Just mow them down. They're fucking hummus people. They use small arms grenades against hummus fighters. Yep. They also jumped into the water themselves as the boat could be engulfed in flames. Motherfuckers. Yeah. Shit's fucked up, dude. Lots of... And then, of course, they're throwing grenades and shit at these motherfuckers. It's the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Jeez. But you know what? Hamas needs to stand down. It's time to stop. You know, you're not going to play this fucking insane shit with us because apparently, you know, they're willing to go full on fucking apocalyptico on us. Here you go, Luke. This was sent to me another clip from Tim Pool. Again, I don't recommend watching Tim Pool because he will tell you it's the end of the world all the goddamn time on this fucking channel. He'll tell you it's the end of the world every single day. Here you go. And here's one example. He's going to go for a full-on frickin', what is it? Full-on frickin', yeah, the Red Heifer, yeah. He'll go full-on Bullwinkle. Because that's what we're looking for. He's looking for Bullwinkle, the fucking cow. The Red Heifer. Oh, he doesn't like the...
We got a
He
super chat
doesn't
on
like
Teamcast
that.
IRL from someone who referenced the Red Heifer. I didn't know anything about it. So I did a quick Google search and found an article from Forward.com, Jewish independent nonprofit, where they wrote, "Holy cow, can one heifer herald the third temple and the end of the world as we know it?" You see,
Yes.
it's not so much about whether you believe in these religious prophecies or superstitions or anything like that. It's that there are people who do. And the argument was, with the birth of a red heifer in Israel just this past month, there will be attempts by people who believe this to construct the third temple. They believe it could result in the tearing down of the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Good.
Honestly, I have no idea about any...
Well, that would be a complete disaster if they did that, right?
Why? Why?
Well,
Why?
I mean,
Fuck these people.
all the Muslims in the world would actually could justify a war on them.
Okay. Okay, let's. All right.
I mean,
all
granted, they'll
Muslims,
lose again, but
we'll run up the
granted, they'll lose again just like all the other times, but still.
Who gives a shit, dude? At this point, I don't care anymore. I'm at the point where I just want this whole shit to fucking either kick off or stop bothering me, you know? So go sacrifice the red heifer. Who gives a damn? Sacrifice the bastard. Chop him up and throw him into little tiny pieces and throw him on the fire. We don't care. Just let it be done at this point. Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Because, I mean, I'm not making enough money. I mean, I'm making enough money. It's just I'm not making enough to do things I want to do. So I'm sort of like at the crossroads of where do I really want to spend money on going and playing Magic, or do I want to go fencing? Do I want to go swimming? And I've realized that one of the reasons I liked Magic so much, and I guess I'm going off of a tangent here, but it's my show, so we go with it. We go from hating the Palestinians and being full on Zionist insanity to shit that would make fucking Pole blush, and now we're talking about freaking my hobbies. Wonderful, isn't it? No, but like I'm at the point where I want to take stuff with me. I want to like get something out of a hobby, whether it be economic, like let's say with Magic, where you can sort of like hold or retain your value of your cards. But now I'm going to start doing working out. That's what I've started to do. Working out, fencing, and more martial practices, if that makes any sense. Anyhow, let's hear what Tim has to say.
I don't follow this stuff. I'm not big on this, but I decided, let's read this article because I do find it very interesting considering everything that's going on. That on September 8th, Forward wrote this, well before these attacks. Can one heifer herald the third temple in the end of the world as we know it? Well, let's read it. Mira Fox writes, the days of the third temple are apparently upon us. Why? It's all thanks to a cow. I like cows. Cows are funny. You drive, and everyone knows this. When you drive down the road, there is no circumstance in which a cow is seen that someone doesn't say cow. And you all know it. We love cows. In the Bible, red heifers feature heavily in temple law. The cows must be pure red, without even 2 hairs of another color, and without any form of blemish. And they're an essential part of sacrificial purity laws. Their ashes are required according to passages in Numbers to purify the temple's priests and its altars. But these laws have long been irrelevant. After all, there hasn't been a temple.
But here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. If you're going to sacrifice the cow, how do you know which one of you is actually part of the priesthood, the priest caste of the Israelis?
Supposedly, the people have said they have the Levites all lined up for that, or at least possible remnants of the Levites. But of course,
so we don't actually
there's a great
know.
question. Of course, the great question is how is the temple even relevant when Jesus Christ is real?
Well, there you go. I guess it's more of a victory lap, I suppose, right? We just burned down the Gaza Strip. Now we're gonna do a victory lap, and then gonna absolve ourselves of all sins. Okay, more power to you. Just don't get the blood all over my suit,
No, they wouldn't waste it there. They want to keep it inside the temple to purify it. After they built it.
How's that? Oh, it's like some fucking heathen shit, dude.
That's how it works. That's how you purify the temple.
That's how you purify it? It's fucking insane. So,
some religious stories, however, say that before the third temple is built, heralding the Messianic era, long prayed for by both Jews and Christians, a pure red heifer will be sacrificed again. In Judaism, this era is prophesied to mean the coming of a time that includes the return of biblical laws of purity, thus allowing for true holy life. For evangelical Christians, it would herald the end times, the return of Jesus to earth, and the rapture. This belief has long driven Christian Zionism and Christian lobbying on behalf of Israel. For both groups, there are a few requirements for this time to arrive. The restoration of the nation of Israel, Jerusalem becoming a Jewish city again.
The nation of Israel?
By Israel in 1960.
The nation of Israel could have been, founded, let's say, in anywhere. It's wherever they are gathered, right? The nation is the people. Mm-hmm. It's not the state. You could have had the land of Judah, and they could have shown up there. They could have showed up in freaking Alaska, and that would have been considered, them coming together as a nation.
Well,
I'm not saying that.
Although technically, that place in Mount Moroni is the only place where they're allowed to build a temple, so they can't really build it anywhere else.
They can't. Well, what's a synagogue?
Well, no, it's a smaller temple. It's a gathering of worship. It's not the place where the sacrifices take place.
Oh, okay. So it's like the difference between a chapel and, let's say, a basilica, I guess.
I guess you could put it that way.
I don't know. Fucking rules and consequences. Keep going.
1967, and the birth of a red heifer to purify it all. And here we go! It happened, apparently. Apparently, according to a breathless announcement in the UK tabloid The Mirror, a red heifer has been born, the first born in Israel in 2,000 years. The Temple Institute, a Jerusalem-based organization led by American-born Orthodox Rabbi Chaim Rickman, advocates for building the third temple. They have said that they will be examining the calf carefully as it grows for blemishes in order to see if the time is right to start the construction. Okay, so apparently this red heifer was born, and when it grows...
It's a brown heifer, by the way. It's a that's brown. I don't know why you think it's red. I think red or blue. I'm thinking red or blue.
It's a shade of red.
It's
kind of like the dark red that your blood is, actually, because blood is not really red. It's like a very dark black red.
I guess the heifer is color coded for the Israelis' convenience. Blood red.
Oh no. They say the heifer herself. This particular calf is an accident. The Temple Institute has been working to breed a sacrificial cow for years. After importing red Angus cows from Nebraska, the most recent calf is not the first birth that has been announced with great excitement, and several have also been shipped in from the U.S., where evangelical Christian farmers support the Jewish efforts. This is nuts! While some Jews believe the third temple can only be built in the prophesied Messianic age, groups like the Temple Institute believe that the Jews have to take the prophecy into their own hands. In their interpretation...
Nothing bad happens from that.
No, nothing bad's gonna happen like that, because it's not like Hamas is like, oh my god, they're gonna start the end of the world or some shit like that. Which, that'd actually be a valid argument, by the way. If they're literally gonna try to kickstart the goddamn apocalypse, that can't be allowed to happen. Because let's suppose that they do it and it turns out to be wrong. What the fuck are you gonna have to come back to? Nothing.
Yeah, that's for the Lord to decide, not us.
Yep. Keep playing.
The long prayed for epic, can only come once the temple has been built and purified, and they believe that's upon them. The Institute maintains an active YouTube channel where they post Temple Talk podcast episodes, Torah lessons, and videos detailing their efforts to pave the way for a third temple, including recreating dozens of temple vessels. They have also built a giant gold menorah, according to Torah specifications, and weighing in at half a ton, including 45 kilograms of 24-karat gold. It currently stands in the central plaza of...
What?
I want a 40...
Oh yeah,
24-karat gold
menorah. Torah specific to weighing in at half a ton, 40 kilograms of gold, 24-karat gold.
You're making me want to fucking loot the damn temple now. You're making me want to loot it, dude.
I mean, the temple is supposed to be made with this stuff, so they kind of have to have it.
Can you imagine what the cost would be to start this shit? Like just to have to get gold, a golden sigil or something like that to contain the Ark of the Covenant or something.
Well, not to be too stereotypical, but if the Jews have that kind of money.
Oh come on, that's a bit stereotypical, dude.
I'm just saying.
Well, they got the. Well, let's say they have to have 1,000 shekels to make one gold piece.
How much is gold anyway? How much is a piece of gold anyway?
Actually, their question is how many shekels to a gold bar?
Let's see. 1 ounce of gold is equal to nearly $2,000. So that'd be a lot of money.
2,000 US dollars, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep
well,
going.
1.91 to $1,000, but yeah.
Jeez.
Ready to be kindled in the rebuilt Holy Temple, according to the Institute's video. Bana Israel, another pro-Third Temple group, has both Jewish and Christian members, that according to its website, work on actively bringing the redemption closer. They are responsible for shipping several red heifers from Texas to the U.S. earlier this year. And Rabbi Yitzchak Mamo, I'm trying to pronounce it right, from yet another Third Temple group, Ovni Jerusalem, told the Christian Broadcasting Network that he has planned a ceremony for Passover 2024 to slaughter the imported heifers, assuming they have not developed any blemishes before then. Memo said
Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
Merry fucking Christmas. It's gonna be a not so silent night. We might actually get to encounter the Krampus after what's going on here. Oh, Luke, it's gonna be awesome.
But we should take a lesson from this guy.
Precisely what the dialectics are doing. That the eschaton, the end of the world, or the end times. Eric Vogelin famously warned everyone not to immanentize the eschaton, meaning don't bring about an acceleration of the end of the world, which is precisely what the dialectics are trying to do.
Yep. And what's sad about this whole thing is there are probably people out there who'll be like, "Oh, look, it didn't happen, therefore we're absolved of all accountability." And there was another thing that popped up here. Here's something for you. Speaking of the traditionalist bullshit. Here you go, Luke. Why the warrior caste is dying? It's dying because there are too many people who stealing. Yeah, warrior class apparently.
We have.
I always thought it was a class.
Who's the warrior class?
Well, who's gonna tell us?
Episode of Truck Talk. Thank you for being here, man. We're building kind of like a little community here around these Truck Talks, and it feels good, man. I'd love to see you guys in the comments.
He looks like if Baked Alaska and grew a beard and they fused with Brian Proctor. I'm not even joking. They look identical. Like he has the same like structured face, but he has Baked Alaska's hair and fucking glasses. Oh wow.
See you guys tuning in. It means a tremendous amount to me. This episode, as usual, is brought to you by me, inspired by my man Chili. We're going to talk about something here on this episode, and that is the fact that I believe the warrior class of society is dying rapidly or nearly dead. And I'll tell you a little story first. When I was going through SEAL training in first phase, there's a little thing called Hell Week. It's starts Sunday night, ends Friday evening. You stay up, you get beat down. It's really, really freaking hard. It's where the majority of people quit. And when I was going through BUDS or SEAL training, every single class got to create a class shirt, all right? And you got to have that shirt go into print once the class made it through Hell Week, and there were at least some people left. And it was a tradition. And there used to be a little shop down on Coronado Island in California that had every single BUDS class shirt in the shop. We all went to the same screen printer. They would do the design for us, and then they would give the shirts to the class and put the print in the shop. So you could go in there and you could see every single BUDS class shirt design going way, way back. And it was funny. I was talking to my buddy the other day, David Charbonnet, that I went through BUDS with, and he still lives out in San Diego and does some work there at NSW, some ministry work. And
what he's talking about is essentially that because of the cosmopolitization of the warrior people who have like skills like a warrior, people who know how to use a gun, people who know how to fight or what have you, and the actual warriors, the military and whatnot, they're not allowed to participate in their rituals of like having, let's say, a custom t-shirt or whatnot. You could skip ahead a bit. There's a part in it, let me see if I can find it here, where he actually says why they're dying. Here you go. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you. All right. It is the nature of time, by the way, that the old ways must give in. See if I can find it here, and it would be tradition's gone. 3 minutes in.
Went away, right? And whether it's something as simple as having a Hell Week T-shirt in SEAL training, which is a pipeline that develops warriors, whether it's a simple tradition like that, or it's, when I was a new guy in the SEAL team, we got freaking hazed, man. We got treated like crap. It was straight up hazing. That is tradition, man. That's no longer allowed. We have destroyed or gotten rid of all tradition, especially within the warrior culture. We've traded those traditions in for the sake of freaking political correctness and wokeness. And we've abandoned that.
Why don't you just do
it against?
Why don't you break the rules? Why don't you break the rules and actually have your traditions anyhow? Like, just don't even care what your CO says. Break from that tradition and start your own tradition. I don't know. Let's see. Look at the outro. Let's go to the outro here.
Pseudo warriors, these sports players and crap, we've elevated them in our society above the status of the true warrior, the one who risked.
Oh, so now since warriors are just a recreation, not a actual standing in society, therefore we've lost our touch with them.
To a certain degree, that's his argument, right? That we've lost touch with it. And the truth be told is that, I hate to be the guy who says this, but again, I like both the police and law enforcement as well as soldiers. But let's not mince words here. If shit were to go down, the police would be just as much of a threat as some of these, looters and whatnot. And in like the later stages of the fucking, shit hits the fan Teotihuacan scenario. Some of these guys would be heroes, but at the same time, some of them are going to be fighting each other. The idea that we're all going to get along, that these guys aren't going to be a threat of some kind. And that's sort of how a lot of these warrior classes die out, is they are no longer needed. They're no longer of use. They either become obsolete as individuals, or their skill set becomes obsolete. And I'll tell you this, in America, one of the cool things that we have is we have the firearms. And the firearms, that are in the civilian sector are way better than some of the fucking firearms that are in the army sector, believe it or not. And it's been that way for the longest time. Some of the civilians kit is better than the actual kit that's in the military. Anyhow, gonna move on from that. Just wanted to show that off there because I thought, hey, why not, right? All right, here we go. Styx, Hex, and Hammer. Let's try this sucker out. Here we go. I think I talked about this before. I'm not sure if I have or not. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
We have hit peak clown world with the wokeness. Lucian Greaves, the leader of the Satanic Temple, them as the ones that challenged Oklahoma there with their, 10 Commandments monument, said, okay, I don't have a problem with your 10 Commandments monument. We'll just build a Moloch statue right next to it. That's fine, right? Of course, it wasn't fine to them at the time, but they did get their statue put in place. He's being dragged right now because he took a picture with another person, namely David Silverman. So an atheist, hardline atheist, who's not, taken in by every element of wokeness. So it's basically like a J.K. Rowling scenario. You play 90% purist when it comes to progressivism, so all of the sub-issues, but you don't want women to be victimized, and so, much like J.K. Rowling and a bunch of others, even though you're a far leftist, practically a fucking pinko, you're still not woke enough for the uber wokers, and so you get in trouble for that and you should be silenced. Lucian Greaves getting calls to step down as the leader of the Satanic Temple for posing with a picture with somebody that he was not even generally aware of to any complete degree. I don't even have words to express how funny this is. I say that.
Yeah, I heard about this. Apparently, David Silverman was accused of, he effectively was Me Too'd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
well, that's good to know.
He was kind of like supposedly he was into 50 Shades of Grey kind of stuff, but he says it was completely consensual.
Yep.
This is a former Satanist, of course. I was never a member of the Satanic Temple or the Church of Satan or any order like that, and this is years ago. Some people think I'm still a Satanist because I have 666 in my username. Pro tip.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, no, I think you're Satanistic because of the Oberos in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're a fucking. Because I think he's a Satanist because he actually fucking identified as one way back in the day, and now because he has the money from the and the notoriety of it, he's still gonna hold on to it,
And it's relatively well known, like 400 million YouTube views well known. You don't change it generally. That's generally a bad idea. And also, it helps to keep some of the Bible thumpers away. I'm always worried somebody's going to think I'm, Jesus. They're going to think that I'm an uber hardcore Christian simply because of my views on like taxes or guns or something. Because people have that weird football team mentality.
You know what where your comments remind me of?
What?
Is a moral obscenity, and our economic system inevitably leads to oppressive and exploitative power hierarchies. Redistribution is the only ethical option. But now that I think about it a little more clearly, is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? I think I heard that in a video game once.
Yep.
Where it's basically, you agree with me on these two issues, so you must be just like me, or you disagree with me, so you must be like at the opposite end of some spectrum that doesn't exist. So it really depends on what I talk about. And one of the groups of people that I've had the most problems with, especially early on in my content creation, were Bible thumpers. That was the first group of people that ever tried to cancel me. It wasn't the
Define Bible
thumper.
thumper.
Really exist to the same degree back then. It wasn't.
I'm guessing he means religious right folk.
What does that even look like? People are joking. They're praying for you. Let them pray for you. Let
no,
them pray for you.
Like the kind of people who are very entrenched in who think that entrenchment in the religion and the right wing establishment is akin to saying, "Oh, how dare you speak against the establishment, you traitor."
Oh, those type of people.
Yeah.
fucking
Right.
commies back then doing it. It was moralists from the right wing.
Like the kind of people who think that you can't be an American and not be Christian.
Oh, those types. Which to a certain degree is true, but not in the way they might think.
Right.
You have to have the Christian morality. Like again, individualism is heavily influenced by Christianity, at least in America. In France, it's more influenced by what the state lets you get away with, right? Yeah. Keep going.
I say that term loosely. Moralists, the Deus Volters, basically. Fire and brimstone, you're
No.
going to hell. Instead of telling me that
No.
Jesus loves me, they
Deus
tell me that he
Volters would
wants
be
me
the guy
to-
who just kills you and be done with it. That's what the Deus Volters. And again, this is why I'm asking. Like, what are they actually? Are they like saying, "Have you given your heart to Christ" or something like that? Like, what are they? What are they actually saying? I'd actually like to look at some of like these supposed people who are calling him out, or he's calling them out. I really would like to know. Like, what are we talking here? Are we talking like young Earth creationists? Are we talking people who like believe Jesus walked with dinosaurs? Like, what are we talking? Moralists? Just because somebody disagrees that you have a right to kill a kid in an abortion doesn't mean they're moralists.
You know, the pearl clutchers that Michael Moore was making fun of way back with or the people were making fun of where they said, "Oh, video games cause violence" or something, back in those days.
Oh, I don't even know if you could very well make that argument. I mean, I could argue that fucking video games do cause violence. They do. It's just that they don't cause violence, they inspire violence. Just like how books inspire violence. Believe it or not.
I don't know if
they
that's
can
the
influence... Well, I'll give you an example.
Dog's Cup of Tea will inspire violence, but a piece of fiction won't.
Well, what about, like, Heat? Like the movie Heat, right? In the movie Heat, they had... like, one of the things they would do is they would, like, they'd have, like, a stopwatch, and they would, like, be like, okay, after 30 minutes, or, like, a minute and a half, the police arrive. Like, they actually were able to, like, and there are people who've used Heat as a, like, template to, like, rob banks and shit. Like, look at the North Hollywood shootout, right? And then you have fucking, movies like, let's say, I'm trying to think of other films off the top of my head that people will use and say, hey, yeah, that's a good heuristic, we'll use this. You know, we'll assume that this is how the world works and we'll operate accordingly based off of this particular piece of fiction or film. There are people like that. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know, keep going.
Me forever, and never really found much evidence that that was a proper Christian doctrine when I actually read the Bible, which many of them have never fucking cracked open. Their copy has dust on it. I probably read more biblical literature even now. Fucking edit books of Christian mysticism on various subtopics anyway. Beyond the cancel culture mob has applied to me. I just find it hilarious that a group that effectively exists to be edgy and to push that envelope, sometimes for a good purpose, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and so forth, would be absorbed by wokeness. The Satanic Temple cannot really go along with the woke cancel culture social justice warrior mob that it's currently attempting to deal with, while at the same time continuing to stand for liberty. And this is my summation of Satanism in general. When we're talking about atheistic Satanism, which is what most Satanists are, they don't worship the devil, they don't worship some pagan entity.
Okay, then you know what? You're not a religion. You're not part of a religion then. It's that simple. Because why do you get to be part of a religion? You should be, like, if you wanted to be part of, let's say, a political group, right? That's protected under freedom of speech. It's protected under the First Amendment, right? But this idea that you just make a religion up on the fly for whatever fucking reason, and you use it specifically to subvert the country, right? We're talking like James Lindsay calling out the fucking Marxists as a religion. And then the Marxists in kind saying, okay, we're going to take May Day off. That's what I'm concerned about when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Those people don't deserve to be called a religion. They don't. And so one of the things that, you know, this is where I would disagree with a lot of what Styx is saying is that, you know, if you have freedom of religion in this country, it has to be grounded in something. It can't just be grounded in, I want to make a religion so I can worship my ego and get tax benefits. I think we're going to see the end of Satanism in this regard, or in this regard, we're going to see this end of, how should we say it, of freedom of religion. It's not going to be the same anymore. Like, Islam is not a religion, it's an ideology. It has its taxes, it has a way of looking at the world, it has a bunch of ontological assertions, but it also tells people how to live. It has a devil, it has a system of jurisprudence, it has taxes. That's what I'm getting at here. I don't know. Finish us off, Luke.
With the devil like Enki. There are groups that do. Most of them, 90%, are atheists or agnostics, and it's an edgy floor show. This is how the Church of Satan was invented in the 1960s. Anton LaVey was an attention-seeking circus showman edgelord who said, look, I've got an idea. I'm going to make a lot of money off of it, too. And he did. He did fairly well for himself. Still died mainly penniless, but for a while it was a big thing. Back in the 60s and 70s, constantly on TV and shit. He got burned out and had his daughter doing everything for him towards the early 80s, actually, as the official spokesperson. Better than the one that they have now. Public Relations by Peggy Nadramia. Try having a conversation with her sometime and see how that works out for you.
What does she look like anyway?
I don't know. What? Which one? His daughter?
The Church of Satan. Whoever's in charge of the Church of Satan these days.
I don't know who's in charge of that shit. I shouldn't really have to know either. I don't know. Just fucking tired. It's a slow week, honestly.
Selling membership into what he incorporated literally for tax purposes, and basically said, look, all that I'm doing is giving people rituals. They don't do anything. He didn't believe in an actual devil or anything. And I'm making money off it. I'm doing exactly what the church does, but I'm paying taxes. I'm being very honest about the fact that I don't even really believe in my own bullshit. So he'd have the rituals, and they'd have the big titty topless girls laying on the altar.
You're subverting our society. That's not how religion works. Okay, like there has to be actual controls on this, specifically what can be considered a religion and not considered religion. Because then you have people like the Marxists coming in saying, "Yeah, we're going to take May Day off." You know, the feminists say, "Yeah, we worship our we worship our ego, we worship ourselves, and therefore, you know, we're protected now." There is a limit on this stuff. I'm not saying they can't exist. I'm saying they should not be allowed to make fucking tax exemption and shit like that. You know? I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting bored.
Time, and he plays organ music and write books and stuff like that. And was definitely a visionary in that sense. By the way, large parts of that doctrine were lifted out of Ragnar Redbeard's Might is Right and have both nationalistic and libertarian overtones. It's like an Ayn Rand novel.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You couldn't have said that in a straight face. You don't get to tell me that.
I mean, don't we kind of argue that there's strong similarities between Ayn Randian Ayn Rand objectivism and Satanism?
There is, but here's the issue. One takes precedence of the other. You know, Ayn Rand's objectivism is not protected under a religious clause, is it? It's protected under the same as you would have for capitalism or socialism or libertarianism. It's protected under political speech, but not fucking religious speech. And there's a mission creep here that nobody is talking about, where you can't actually fight back against this type of crap. You know? I don't know.
So
I'm getting tired, Luke.
If you look later on, what's Boyd Rice? He was a high priest in the church. What was he known for? Being an edgelord. Wearing a shirt that says rape on it and going out into the woods and bumbling around and saying weird shit. There was one concert, I guess, in which he aimed floodlights at the crowd until they became enraged and people started leaving, and he's just sitting there laughing. It's the whole point. It's basically, hey, you just gave me money to abuse you. Great for you.
I don't think they gave money to abuse. That's not what they were doing. I wouldn't pay money for someone to abuse me. I don't know. Luke. I'm kind of honestly tired. I think we're gonna call it a night tonight. I'm just tired. Yeah, it's all good.
Let's see. This does remind me of that old Christian documentary called Hell's Bells, talking about the satanic influence in pop music.
Yo.
Oh yeah, the Messiah inside of you.
In pop music? Wait, in pop music?
Yeah, like the music of the time from the early '90s.
Oh, dude, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know it.
It's the same. It's in the same era of the Pearl Clutchers, but more reformed.
You keep saying the Pearl Clutchers. I don't believe in the Pearl Clutchers as a thing. You know, I don't believe that they actually were a thing. I think that a lot of these people were just, they just were. I don't think they're Pearl Clutchers.
So there was no cult. There was no like established culture to rebel against.
In some cases, yes, but only on a certain scale.
Oh, here we go. Here's I found LaVey. If I can find the scenes with LaVey in them.
Oh, god damn it. What is it?
If I can find it right.
Oh.
We saw earlier, they have a caricature of the devil and his religion in their minds. He's the horn-headed demon in red pajamas, and serving him, should he even exist, would involve sacrificing babies, drinking blood, or something else equally horrible or bizarre. In reality, though, following Satan is far more mundane and universal than most people realize or would care to admit.
That's actually where it's really interesting.
What about?
Here's the thing.
But I can do anything that I want to. I can pursue any kind of lustful desires that I might feel. I can engage in any activities that are so-called sinful activities. I'm not really worried about any ecumenical councils making it right for me to do these things.
He does look, looking back on now, it does look like a troll.
He does look like, yeah, and that's the problem. Why are they giving them? Why are we giving them credit? Why are we giving them a platform? Why are we helping these people? You know, why don't we push back against this shit? You know, I don't know.
Let's see if I can find the best part somewhere in here.
It's fine. I'm just tired.
Man's made up to regulate his conduct.
Why we got one rule? There are no rules, no good times. Do what you want.
Have a Christian said to you, just when you're worshiping yourself, what would you say?
In a sense, they would be right. It is a form of self-worship.
We feel that there's no reason why.
Yeah, and as a result of all this, a result of all that, why don't you just write yourself off as a tax write-off? I mean, this is some subversive shit. You know, like there has to be some limits on freedom of religion. You can't just have, you know, people, you know, creating a parallel legal system, or, you know, people calling themselves God and crap like that. They're actually like people talk about pronouns, right? People aren't going to talk about the frickin' nouns, the actual nouns that are being enforced, you know?
Well, as of now, the only people allowed to decide what a religion is the IRS. You know, the same people who said that Scientology was a religion.
Yep, and that's where, you know, a lot of these institutions need to, like, fuck off and start, you know, you have to be taken over and explain to people, hey, you know, you don't do this shit to people. You don't push this crap. I don't know. Luke, I'm going to end it here. Any final thoughts?
Baton shot.
Oh, great fighters call out their finishing moves.
Yeah, you're gonna fit in just fine.
What is that from?
Also One Piece.
Oh, dang. You're going to fit in just fine. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another. Take care when